What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, we're going to cover everything we know about the upcoming iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro, as well as iOS 18. So we're taking a bit of a break from Apple Vision Pro videos. I've never lost sight of what's really most important to this channel. I figured this was a good opportunity to go over everything that we know so far about Apple's upcoming iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro. I also wanted to take the opportunity to talk about iOS 18 because before you know it, June is going to be here where Apple will hold WWDC 2024 and show us all of the new software advancements across all platforms with iPhone, Apple Watch, Mac, Apple TV, and of course Apple Vision. I'll probably do more coverage on iOS 18 itself much later down the line, but today we'll talk about some exciting new enhancements such as the AI integration with iOS 18 and some more on that later. But for now, let's get started with the iPhone 16. The action button will be available on the iPhone 16, not just the iPhone 16 Pro. Right now it's only available on the Pro models, which is on the side, and replaced the mute switch last year. This will officially kill the mute switch since the original iPhone. Was anybody actually really using it? Screen sizes will be staying the same, but if we flip around the back, let's talk about the cameras. It's been rumored everywhere, especially according to some recent CAD design leaks, that the camera cutouts will be a pill vertical shape on the back. Now this is attributed to the fact that you'll be able to shoot spatial video on the iPhone 16, so this will no longer be limited to the Pro models like it is now on the iPhone 15. So if you think about it, when you rotate that pill shape horizontally, you get a lens on both the left and right sides, making for a perfect Vision Pro video. You'll have the microphone in between each, and the camera flash this time will actually be separated from the pill shape cutout of the camera lenses. For the Pro specifically, we're talking about larger 6.3 and 6.9 inch displays, which are finally going to upgrade this year from 6.1 inches to 6.3 and 6.7 inches to 6.9, which is very exciting because this is for the first time in several years. Meaning the biggest Pro Max is almost a 7-inch display. That's almost the size of an iPad mini. Even though it is a slight size bump, it will increase the size and volume of the phone while retaining about the same thickness and heaviness. I'm actually kind of excited to see this because I used to be a huge advocate for the iPad mini. I don't have one anymore, but I love the slim form factor while having a massive display. I can't believe I am now going to almost have an iPad mini sized iPhone in my hands. It's crazy to think about. And with the 16 Pro display enlargement in mind, that also does mean the bezels are likely going to get thinner. As we saw from the 14 to the 15 Pro, the bezels shrunk just a little bit, so we can expect that to happen again. Apple also intends to improve the OLED displays for performance and battery life, so that's always great too. And for the iPhone 16 Pro, we can expect to also get the addition of a capture button, which will be kind of located in the bottom right-hand corner, so you can imagine if you're taking a picture or a video, how that'll work. Interestingly enough, there have been some reports that the capture button will also be available on the standard iPhone 16s, which again is toward the bottom near the millimeter wave antenna area. So Apple will likely move that antenna to the left-hand side under the volume rockers, and again, it's yet to be seen if this will also be available on the 16 and not just the 16 Pro, as the capture button is apparently going to have some capacitive abilities where you can sort of move your finger back and forth on it to zoom in and out, and also firm press or light press, just like you would on a SLR camera, which is super exciting. I can't wait to see how this technology works. Wouldn't be surprised since, Touch ID is now embedded into iPad lock and wake buttons. And of course, just like how on AirPods you can adjust the volume by swiping up and down. Now let's talk about cameras. Of course, the most exciting being for the iPhone 16 Pro. The iPhone 16 Pro models could include an improved 48 megapixel ultra wide lens, a little different from the wide lens now, which would allow improved images in lower lighting conditions. It would likely function like the 48 megapixel wide camera, which uses pixel binding to combine the data from 4 pixels into 1 super pixel for better image quality. The 48 megapixel wide-angle camera used in the iPhone 16 Pro Max will reportedly feature an 8-part hybrid lens with 2 glass elements and 6 plastic elements, along with improvements for the telephoto and ultra-wide camera lenses. Both the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max could get 5 times telephoto lenses instead of the technology being limited to the larger Pro Max. Kind of a sketchy rumor, but it also sounds like the iPhone 16 Pro could feature a super periscope lens. So this is a super telephoto periscope camera for a dramatically increased optical zoom. It's always great to see this get better. The information comes from a Weebio account that has provided accurate information in the past, but has not been backed up by a second reliable source. Super or ultra telephoto usually describes the cameras with a focal length of over 300 millimeters. The current telephoto lens is equivalent to a 77 millimeter lens, so if accurate, there could be a notable increase in zoom capabilities. There will be thermal improvements with the iPhone 16, as we remember with the 15 with the new titanium casing, the overheating issue. Thankfully, that was resolved pretty quickly with some software updates, but Apple is working on a metal battery casing to prevent this problem from happening in the future, and you can kind of see what that looks like here. To elaborate a little bit more, rumors suggest the iPhone 16 Pro models will use a stacked battery technology which can result in higher capacity and longer lifespan. The stacked battery could come alongside a faster 40-watt wired charging and 20-watt MagSafe charging. And here again there's that image of the alleged iPhone 16 Pro battery leaked in November with a new design, updated connector, and the metal battery casing. I don't know about you guys, but for the first time ever with the iPhone 15 Pro, this is the best battery life I've ever had. It was horrible on the 14 Pro, and the 13 was decent. The 15 has been absolutely great. I don't need it to get much better, but I always welcome the upgrade. Now let's talk about processors. Leaked information shows that all 4 iPhone models across the board, so 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, will all use the A18 chip, while the Pro models will use an A18 Pro specific chip with more power. The big thing with the A18 Pro featuring an upgraded neural engine to support the new AI features coming in iOS 18, with significantly more cores to handle the processing needs. It's rumored that all iPhone 16 models, both standard and Pro, will feature the same 8 gigs of RAM across the board, which is super exciting for users that don't necessarily want to go the Pro route but want the power of Pro in terms of multitasking speed. Normally we'd probably see 6 gigs go to the iPhone 16 lineup and 8 gigs be reserved for the iPhone 16 Pro lineup. It seems like it's going to be across the board, all 8 gigs. There's been some talk about the 5G modem chip being bumped up a little bit so you get faster 5G network speeds. This is always exciting but will likely be incremental and won't be anything significant if you're coming from an iPhone 14 or 15, but still nice to have. It seems Wi-Fi 7 will be included at least in the iPhone 16 Pro lineup, which is significantly faster than Wi-Fi 6, not necessarily the regular 16s, which may just get Wi-Fi 6E, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's across the board for all models. Even though I feel Wi-Fi speeds of Wi-Fi 6 are great already on iPhone, there's always room for improvement. Web pages and apps that we use and visit get larger and larger in terms of bandwidth needed to transmit information. Bumping those load times and buffer speeds is always a blessing. Let's briefly dabble into pricing, which we could see a slight hike due to the increase in cost of components. Hopefully we don't get there, but since Apple absorbed some of the cost of what it costs to make the iPhone 15 over the 14, it's possible this is the year they bump the prices. And last but not least, when we can expect it. Of course, September of this year, we would get an announcement earlier in the month and then a release later in the month with iOS 18 right before that. Now, let's jump into iOS 18 briefly, which is apparently going to be the biggest iOS update ever since the introduction of iPhone. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this over the years. It always seems like that's going to be the case, and then the iOS drops and it feels so much similar to the previous year. I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't been paying as much attention as I used to new features, but it sounds like this is finally going to be the one where Siri gets smarter. Thank God. More or less, Siri has been the same since its original inception in 2011 with the iPhone 4S. Sure, there's been a lot of enhancements and improvements over the years, but there is no AI built into it whatsoever, which it's 2024, why the hell is there not? It's reported that Apple is in talks with Google to acquire or license some of its Gemini technology to include with iOS 18, given apparently Apple is so far behind in its own AI development, with their Apple GPT of sorts, we'll call it, that at this point to make sure it's ready for iOS 18, Apple is willing to work with Google to license some of the capabilities that it has with its own Gemini AI. So you can imagine Siri off the bat becoming way more useful and actually understanding a bunch of modern day prompts that we would normally go and talk to ChatGPT or Gemini about. Siri will finally be able to handle these human-like requests and respond accurately. Reports have indicated Apple's working on things such as Siri improvements, AI-generated playlists for Apple Music, AI document generation in the iWork suite, so you can imagine just how far this can get. Really improve the iOS user experience. Something we haven't seen in many, many years. Now, we don't know a whole lot other about iOS 18, but actually just this recent week, there's been a lot of information about the home screen becoming way more customizable. So, as you know, we got the lock screen customizations over the last year or so with iOS 16 and 17 with the ability to really go in and personalize your lock screen to make it yours. You'll be able to maybe save several different home screen layouts you can switch between, completely different layouts with different buttons, shortcuts, etc. All in all, the experience is going to get way more customizable, so all of a sudden iPhone home screens aren't going to look so uniform anymore. I hope Apple still keeps that design language in common of the icons being in rows. It's just like so iconic Like, it separates iOS from Android in just so many ways. I trust that Apple will put their own official spin on it, but I'm curious to see how this goes. Of course, iOS 18 will be announced in June, WWDC 2024. We'll get the first beta then, and further betas will roll out as the weeks roll on. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue with those update videos. We'll see. iOS 18 will be available for download across all iDevices in September of this year, right before the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro releases. Like I was saying before at the beginning of the video, we'll get all the other updates as well. iPadOS 18, watchOS 11. Man, I can't believe we're that many watchOS versions in so far. Can't forget the next macOS. And of course, visionOS 2, which I am most excited for. But that just about wraps this up. As we get closer, I'll probably cover some more of what the next-gen devices will actually look like. If you like this video, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, rate, give this video a thumbs up, and click that subscribe button below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.